Hey, we went all the way to the end that time. I was just curious. And also, fighting with Facebook. Did I tell you I'm fed up with Facebook? Yeah, it's just trying to see if I could get the stream out quickly in between, and no, the answer is no. So, but got it out to the important peoples. What's up? Welcome back. Yeah, a little bit longer than 5:05. Sorry about that. The Dimlim stream is going to stay right at 6, so we're going to shoot for this to be a quick 20-minute stream. Quite frankly, that's how long I was going to do anyway, so even if we'd started at 5 for this. I just wanted to check in on this band. So if for those of you who aren't familiar, this is Zombie, also known as Zombie. Also known as this kanji. You've probably seen around. So they have really cool looks. They have really cool PVs. They have really cool concepts. They have like animated concepts, but then at the same time they have like animated concept PVs where they're like photoshopped or scrapbook shopped into them, and sometimes they have full-on animations. Sometimes they have more dramatic PVs with stories, but they make really clean like hard electro rock basically. So they have like really catchy like they have the anime opener formula down pat, like from day one. Like that was like so off the table for them, like so out of the not an issue. And it's too easy for them, and they just constantly do it, I guess. But they've gotten, they've become really good at just making this really cleanly produced, music. It's just a very straightforward, kind of a spooky fusion, basically, of rock music and electronic music. They use a lot of synths. I'm reminded of some like more, I guess, almost like house music synths to a degree, but like in a minor key, so it sounds more spooky. But like they sound legit as fuck when they use those, and they use those a lot. They're just really catchy. They just have been hitting the market, like just a steady, a steady one after the other of just a blitzkrieg of singles, mostly double A-sided singles. They'll do one thing, they'll do like a catchy or like a heavy energetic one, and then they'll do a lighter one. They're covering all their bases and just making really catchy stuff. So they're signed to Zany Zap actually, and they've been around a while. They didn't actually release an official first single of, they had live limited stuff, but their first single that they actually considered their to be their first official single came out through Zany Zap, which is the that's the same company that manages Golden Bomber and previously Anli Policino before they announced they were disbanding. So they definitely made a good pick with this one. Their PVs definitely get a lot of play on YouTube. And they're just fun. They're fun, man. Like, it's a very simple, straightforward kind of thing, but they just do a bunch of things really well. It's like, it's a good, it's just a solid formula. It's fun to listen to. And when I'm saying like it's smooth, like if you take their audio file and you put it into an audio editor, like when I'm recording a podcast, it would be like, I would see the sound waves and they'd be going up and down. I could see where my voice spiked, and I know that's a problem. I got to handle that. But what I would add, we would add in intro music and outro music to the podcast that bands gave us permission to do. And so you would get just like I would get all these different files and I'd cut them in, and it would be like, it would be kind of a similar thing, up and down, but just not as much, or it would be like more, rhythmic, but there was like variation in the wave or whatever. We did Zombie for a intro and outro, and it's a straight bar, like completely flat, all blue, like all solid. There's no wave. Like they subdued. They asserted complete dominance over the sound wave. which kind of cracked me up. So I was going to go a little bit into what they've been up to lately. I would definitely recommend checking them out. They're on Apple Music and Spotify. I guess all the artists we're covering today are. Let's see, or at the very least on Apple Music. Let me pull up Zombie here. See, I made the critical mistake of yeah, it's gonna be tricky to find, I think. Let me just do this. Either way, I'm going to have news articles out tomorrow on on where to get their newest stuff. I'm just kind of giving you a jump on it while I wait to get one more thing confirmed, basically. But I would recommend. Let's see. So this is this is not a full. It's a compilation album. It's a best of album, and it's like of their. They'd released, I think, 2 official singles up until this point, but then they had a bunch of those live limited singles that didn't have any play, didn't have any like more copies or whatever. So they made this whole thing. I would strongly recommend this. It's a lot of fun. Depending on how much you like the rowdier indie stuff, you may prefer the better production values on stuff like Kusari Hime, which is like a really catchy. It's really catchy, man. Like that was what first tripped me up about Zombie was that when they go just a little bit lighter or poppier than their somewhat harder stuff. Even their harder stuff is catchy. It's the synths, man. I'm telling you. And then you might like the more produced stuff. My personal favorite song by them is Abnormal Therapy. That's a great Halloween video. I believe it's in our Halloween playlist. It's got a hilarious plot line where a woman is being held captive in like a torture scene, but there's a crazy guy going to torture her. But the plot twist is that instead he will pull out a well, I won't spoil it for you. It's just with a very silly plot twist, it's a very silly twist on a horror situation. So yeah, anyways, that's a great place to start. Also, this will be a great place to start, but I will get to that in a second. So with that out of the way, I just wanted to point out, they have a variety of looks that are just like aesthetic as fuck. Like this. This is from their single, Dakirai, God damn it. Daikirai Tokyo. And also from Kami-sama Gomenasai. It was a double A side. If you would like to read this interview and hear more about them, I will paste it here in the chat. But I was going to go through a little bit of it, but I definitely want to just switch between the looks so you can tell just how much they change and like how many different styles they rock. Yeah, we asked them what their favorite bands and artists are, and the drummer Reika is the one that listed off the massive amount of diversity and craziness and stuff. So, and you can tell because he can actually just kind of go crazy on the drums or do something catchy or whatever. Like, but he's just got like this giant. He's just listening to everything across the spectrum. Now, what's interesting is the bassist, Ao Midori. This guy, he always seems to have the bluish hair. He is the leader. Is the let me see if he is the almost everything of the band, which is interesting. For example, I'm the bassist, Ao Midori. I write, compose, and arrange all of our songs. I also do other things like costume design. So this guy like basically knows how to deploy a band, and then the other guys are there to perform. And so it's a very curious concept like that. I think if we actually go to the PV, we asked about the PV. Wait, music, video. Oh, that's good. That's good. Which song of yours means the most to you and why? Shi nebai no. How does he say it? It's weird. I can't pronounce this one. But it means just go die. He's like in the lyrics. There's a line, die. The spewing of malcontent and poison. Those types of phrases are our weapons. So they're very punk under this like glaze of like electro rock goodness, juicy electro rock goodness. Yeah, here we go. How do you produce new songs? Does the whole band work together on one song, or does every member make one song alone? This was an email interview, so that's why we didn't ask him this after he answered that. They just answered all the questions and sent it back. So I make it myself. I compose the songs on my computer at home. Like this guy is like, I can tell he's like a DIY. Like he's got like the internet viral musician thing down. We noticed that for your singles so far, you usually make two PVs, one that focuses on a live action story and another more artistic one that uses a lot of animation. What made you decide to promote your singles this way? Everyone puts out live action PVs. I feel like having animated PVs can give people who aren't necessarily fans of Visual K the chance to hear our music without prejudice about our appearance. And we'll hold on to that because I'm going to show you some of their newer stuff, but like they absolutely like I think that's very smart, to be quite frank. Like this is the other side to so this look here that they have, it's shown off in this PV, which is Daikirai Tokyo. It is not shown off in this video, which is an animated video. But unlike past ones where the band members themselves had been like green screened into it in like kind of a cool artsy way, that hooked me as a Visual K fan. I thought it was a cool artsy thing. It's just telling a story, and it's actually a pretty good visual story. It's very compelling. So yeah, that's a great way to hook people that aren't maybe aren't ready for VK or aren't so big into it. So they're very smart about how they get their music to appeal to others. Yeah. Do you have anything to say to your fans who might be reading this? Once you've been infected by the band zombie, you'll never be able to escape. Getting infected will make life more fun. Thank you so much for always cheering us on. I'd be happy if foreign VK fans would check out our songs, and please continue to support us in the future. So, are you infected yet? Have you been bitten by the bug? Have you got the zombie the zombie bug? Are you rocking like a zombie? The newest. That's kind of a general backstory, kind of giving you a general vibe about what they do, like what they're all about. The latest stuff that they've been up to, I'm going to go over their, I think their last last two singles, I think it is, and then technically a third thing after that. Let me see if I can just pull this up real quick. I do need my phone for this. I'm running out of patience for the tabs and switching back and forth. So let's see. And I'll make sure I have that article up. The article's up ASAP. I'm just waiting for. I'm gonna tell you like my thoughts on this, and then I'm just waiting for the final confirmation. So yeah. So the next single they put out was called Kusotarega, and that's what this PV is for. Came out in April. Like I said, it's got like the story thing. It's got the synths on full blast, on point. It's heavier. They play around with screaming a little bit. There's a hilarious part in the breakdown where the vocalist takes over the bass suddenly, and the bassist starts like screaming into the microphone. I believe it's right here. That's pretty great. And then they start smashing stuff, and I approve. That's pretty great. Yeah. And then the guy, that's his way of smashing something. He just grabs a flower. Yeah. So that one's fun. That's a fun one. And then the other, I mean, I'm assuming it's an A-side. On Apple Music, it's like like the second A-side of a double A-side, because on Apple Music it's very it's hard to tell. It's listed as an EP. I'm calling it a double A. Yeah, there's a limited edition that comes with PVs for both. Yeah. So this is a very light. So they went like heavier than they normally go, and now they went much lighter, and it's this heavenly beautiful like anime opening of style of a song, and they nailed it. And the animation is amazing. It looks like a manga in motion. You know, I was really put off by it at first, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is like objectively excellent. Like the whole package. So that was April of this year. Now we're at I mean, it technically came out this month, but the PV came out in September, right? So they put out another double A-side. The main A-side was a cover of Kurenai by X Japan. And in my opinion, they did really fucking good. Like, really good. I did not know their guitarist could shred the way that he does before this song. It's just not necessary for their music. Like, their music is set to pop beats, and even if they're heavy, I suspect they're set to a pop tempo. But you know, definitely the catchier ones, the lighter ones are. But he can absolutely shred. And what was also interesting is that there is a they added in like a funny kind of quirky ghost kind of PV in the story. I mean, not ghost kind of story going on in and around the PV as it's being shot. So this is happening offset. It's like this girl with powers and whatnot. But the production on this is, oh, that's a good pause. The production on this is top notch. You know, I think they did a great justice. I really enjoyed this. And the vocalist English was actually quite good as well. So, and yeah, just double checking. I definitely got it in there. If you're following along with the fact that this is a cover of Kurenai by X, which is, I mean, I just told you, but it's like, if you have that in your mind, you may get a kick out of this next one, which is the other A-side for this single. And that is, it doesn't say it here, but it is We Are Zombie. Like, so I'm assuming this is their, I'm getting the vibe that this is their like X song, like the X, you know. It's not. I don't think it's like parodying like any particular song by X Japan. I think it's just the spirit of it, and it's you know, this is their anthem. You know, they've got their own melody and song structure and stuff, and it's kind of spooky, got the spooky sound and whatnot again. So yeah, it's pretty fun. So they're actually branching out a little bit. I would say, you know, it's more fun what they're doing these last couple singles, and they're pushing themselves. But I wouldn't say it's as like a complete packaged, easy to listen to product. Like how their past stuff was. But I kind of appreciate that they're just kind of going out there and trying new stuff. So yeah, that's about all that they're up to, except for one last thing, which is so I believe, and I'll have this confirmed in an article, I believe there was an EP that went up on Apple Music called Hajimete no Zombie, that like nobody I talked to like really knew what it was. And it was it just kind of came out of nowhere. Oh, can you guys hear that on chat? Just got pounded with notifications. Sorry, I'm easily distracted, I guess. It kind of came out of nowhere because it came out on the same day as the latest single, the Kurenai single. I did some digging, and basically what I found is, so from what I understand, it was a pre-order bonus for the physical ones and also for iTunes in Japan, and then they've just made it available to everyone on iTunes and Apple Music. So what it is a compilation EP. It's Kusare Hime was the one that I said like caught me, like, you know, really caught me. It was their first official single, which was a double A-sided single. It was the catchier one. Shineba Ioni. I'm never going to be able to say that one. There's way too many vowels in that. That one is one of their live limited releases. It was on that the longer compilation album. This is a retake of Kusotarega, which is it was the one I was showing you where he was like where the bassist was growling and they were smashing things. It's just a re-recording of it where they try different things with the production and, like, you know, just a few minor tweaks. He sings it differently, all that stuff. So Yamio Serenade is it was a track exclusive to the previous compilation album. Niwaka Ame previously wasn't available on iTunes. It was a B-side on one of the singles that's or on Apple Music here in the States. It was a B-side that's not available on Apple Music, I don't think. And then Abnormal Therapy, past single, Dakirai Tokyo, past single. Now, the only reason I really bring this up is I just have this really amusing thing to show you guys. If you can give me 1 second. So if you're wondering what's going on here with this, and I don't know, maybe someone in the chat has guessed. Yeah, no. So I did some, girl, you're going to be proud of me. I did some digging, and I found some deep lore. Okay. So this translates to roughly, and I'm still working on, you know, I'm reaching out to find like the proper translation. But it's basically first time zombie or beginner zombie. And that makes sense because these are all from, like, you know, I think this is the very newest one, or no, this is the newest one. But they haven't been around that long, to be fair, but they've been like, you know, kind of growing a lot these last few singles. So actually, either way, the context of this that makes me understand why they released this album or what the concept is. Because I just realized I just defeated my point. Didn't make sense because this was like literally the single before the Current Eye single. So basically, it's them taking a bunch of different songs that are either old or things they're trying again, or, you know, songs they tried in the past, or, you know, it may be something more along the lines of that. Like they were experimenting with things. So this symbol here is the Shoshinsha mark. So the Shoshinsha mark, or Wakaba mark, is officially the beginner's driver's sign. Is a green and yellow V-shaped symbol that new drivers in Japan must display on their cars after 1 year, for 1 year after they obtain a standard driver's license. So this is kind of like them being like, all right, we got our, you know, our preliminary, you know, we got our license, you know, we got to prove we've, you know, reached a bit of acclaim. You know, maybe this is the proof of that we got, you know, that we, you know, we got to that acclaim a little bit. You know, here's our nice little compilation after our first year as big boy zombie drivers, you know. So yeah, just wanted to share that little thing with you guys. I'll probably write a separate article on it once I understand the exact full context, because I really want to like work out exactly how this translates, if there's like really something to be further understood about it. I feel like I'm like getting the general gist of it, but it's, you know, I can describe it in words in conversation a lot easier than like in an article, and I don't want to do it in an article because I can't be like, I think, you know. So but that's my deep digging I've done, my big brained deep digging into the lore cave. So yeah, so that's all I got on Zombie. Seems like the absolute perfect time to do a zombie streams on Halloween. Personally, I enjoy the band a lot. You know, I go out of my way to follow their music. It's very simple and straightforward to understand. It's just it is ear candy, and it's but it doesn't get old really. It gets hyper catchy, and it's just a lot of fun, you know. And they're turning out to be quite talented. You know, they held their own covering Kurenai, you know. So all right, I'll check the chat real quick, and then we'll go ahead and peace out of here. We've got the Dimlim stream at 6, so yeah. Watching these streams on my phone while handing out candy for trick or treat, the ultimate Halloween experience. It's awesome. Axe the Great says I've only heard their X Japan cover. And then later he goes, it's really, really catchy. I guess he checked it out. Girl says no legit. They're a big recommend from me. That's really cool. You don't see that from bassists often. Yeah, actually, it's usually the polar opposite. It's like the bassist almost feels like it's off. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the bassist runs like a big risk of, you know, not doing anything. You know, it's just the eternal problem of the 5 guitar formula, is that like either the rhythm, the guitar, or the bassist, if you're not careful, is going to start feeling redundant. I don't know. Happens in America all the time, at least. First Zombie, is that how it would go? I can tell you the English translation. Okay, great. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it, Jin. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate all you guys watching. Girl's proud of me because I discovered some deep lore. Awesome. Yeah. I go digging when I can. So, all right, guys. Next up is going to be the Dimlim listening party. The link to all of these streams, like the schedule and stuff, is in the description. I got links to Apple Music and Spotify. If this is your first time doing the listening party, I'll explain how it goes when we start up the stream. But I'll see you in 10 minutes. Thanks. Peace.